We certainly don't want to show an end user this type of error page if they stumble upon a restaurant that doesn't exist. Perhaps they found some link on the internet somewhere and followed it for /restaurant/detail/ some identifier that was deleted last year. What we'd rather do is just show them a page that says, sorry, we couldn't find that restaurant. One way to do that would be to modify detail.cshtml because I can write if statements inside of my page. So I could say something like, if model is null, let's show this div that says, sorry, we didn't find the restaurant, else show the restaurant. But writing if-else statements inside of a CSHTML page is quite messy. I would suggest you avoid that type of solution whenever possible. If I need to write some sort of if-else statement, I would rather do that in a CS file like inside of my page model itself. But what could we do inside of onGet to prevent this type of screen that's going to show an error? Well, first let me tell you that by default, if we don't return anything from onGet, what ASP.NET Core will do is always render this CSHTML. However, we have control over that decision. What we can do from onGet is have a return value, and we can specify the return type as iActionResult. So we can think of onGet as an action that takes place inside of this page. What we're going to return from here is a result of this action. And there's many types of objects inside of ASP.NET Core that implement iActionResult. And inside of a Razor page, there's many helper methods that will produce an iActionResult. For example, there is a helper method that is named page. You can see here the page method returns a page result, and a page result implements iActionResult. So if I just say return page, we're going to have the exact same behavior that we had before, which is we're going to try to fetch a restaurant, and then we're going to return this action result, which tells ASP.NET Core, please render this page, or take the CSHTML, detail.cshtml, and render that. In which case, when the user is looking for something that doesn't exist, we're going to have some sort of error. But I can also do something like this. I can say if the restaurant equals null, now I want to return a different type of result. I don't want to render the page. So what can I do? Well, I might want to redirect to somewhere else. And you can see there's a number of methods here that allow me to do a redirect or a redirect permanent. So that's the difference between a 302 and a 301 status code. And there is also a redirect to page. So this is a way of saying, let's not render detail.cshtml. Instead, let's return a 302 status to the browser and tell it to go look for this other page. Let's tell it to go look for a page called not found. Currently, that page doesn't exist, but we'll implement it here in just a second. So if the restaurant is null, we're going to go to the not found page. Otherwise, we can render detail.cshtml. Let's implement not found. I want to add a Razor page. And this time what I can do is add a Razor page that doesn't even have a page model class. We don't really need any logic associated with not found, at least the not found that I want to use. All we need really is some markup inside. So let me click add. And once Visual Studio creates this, I'm going to come in and say, your restaurant was not found. And perhaps what we could do is include an anchor tag that points to the list of restaurants. With Bootstrap, we could make this a button. We'll make it a primary colored button so it stands out a little bit, and include the text, see all restaurants. Let me save all files in the project and come out to the browser. What I'm going to do is refresh /restaurants/detail/10. And now instead of seeing an ugly exception, I see /restaurants/not found. I see the message that this restaurant's no longer available, and I can go back to my list and I can still navigate to the details.